think PayPal is just for online shopping. Think again. While it's true that PayPal has made online transactions incredibly convenient, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than you might realize. Brace yourselves, because PayPal's got its hands in your data jar and it's scooping out more than just your email address. We're talking about a treasure trove of personal information that you probably didn't even know you were giving away. We're talking deeply personal stuff, people. This isn't just your name and email. It's the kind of data that paints a detailed picture of your life. The kind of stuff that knows what brand of socks you prefer, what time of day you like to shop, and even how often you make those purchases. This isn't some conspiracy theory. It's all laid out in the fine print of their privacy policy, which most of us never bother to read. PayPal's new policy is all about sharing your purchase history, and not just in a vague, this guy likes shoes kind of way. They are collecting and sharing detailed information about your buying habits. We're talking detailed information about what you buy, when you buy it, and how much you paid for it. And it gets worse. This data isn't just sitting in a vault somewhere. It's being actively shared. They're not just sharing it with advertisers. This information goldmine is going to anyone who's willing to pay for it. Oh no, this information goldmine is going to anyone who's willing to pay for it. Data brokers, marketing firms, you name it. Your personal data is a hot commodity. Data brokers, marketing firms, you name it. These entities are eager to get their hands on your data to better target you with ads, offers, and more. Your personal life served up on a silver platter. So next time you use PayPal, remember, it's not just your money that's being moved around, it's your personal information too. So, what exactly is PayPal peddling in this digital fire sale? Buckle up, because it's a long list. We're talking your name, address, phone number, the usual suspects. But wait, there's more. They're also sharing your purchase history, including those late-night online shopping sprees you thought were safely hidden. Think about it. Everything you buy using PayPal, from that questionable self-help book to those embarrassing medical supplies, is now fair game. And don't even get me started on the financial data. Your bank account information, credit card numbers, and even your transaction history are all up for grabs. This isn't just about annoying targeted ads anymore, folks. This is about your identity, your financial security, and your right to privacy being thrown out the window. Let's call a spade a spade. This new policy is a blatant invasion of your privacy. It's one thing to collect data to improve services. It's another thing entirely to sell it off to the highest bidder without any meaningful consent from the people who actually generated the data. Now, you might be thinking, but John, isn't everyone doing this? Isn't this just the way things are now? And you wouldn't be entirely wrong. In fact, this practice has become so widespread that it's almost expected. Sadly, data harvesting has become the norm in the financial world. It's not just a few bad apples, it's an industry-wide trend. A recent study showed that a staggering 25% of large banks are already collecting and sharing highly personal customer data, often without explicit consent. This means that 1 in 4 major financial institutions is engaging in this practice. These institutions, entrusted with our financial well-being, are treating our personal information like a commodity. They are supposed to safeguard our data, but instead, they are exploiting it for their own gain. They're packaging and selling it to third parties, all in the name of profit. This isn't just about making a quick buck. It's about creating a new revenue stream at the expense of our privacy. It's a betrayal of trust on a massive scale. We trust these institutions with our most sensitive information, and they are letting us down. The problem is, once this data is out there, it can be difficult to control how it's used. It's like trying to put toothpaste back in the tube. It can be sold and resold, ending up in the hands of companies with questionable motives. These companies might use the data in ways we never intended or even imagined. And that's not even considering the risk of data breaches, which are becoming increasingly common. Every time a breach occurs, our personal information is exposed to potential misuse, which, let's face it, are about as common these days as bad celebrity dating decisions. It's a sad reality that we have to deal with, and it raises serious questions about the future of data privacy. Section 5, the 39 million reasons to worry. Here's a number that should make you sit up straight. 39 million. That's the number of active PayPal accounts in the United States alone. Think about that for a second. That's more people than the entire population of Canada, all potentially having their personal information shared without their full understanding or consent. And it's not just Americans who should be worried. PayPal operates globally, meaning millions more people around the world are caught in this data dragnet. It's a global privacy crisis in the making. This isn't just about one company, it's about a system that prioritizes profit over privacy. And it's time we said enough is enough. Section 6, experts say opting out shouldn't be this hard, yet for many of us it feels like an insurmountable challenge. Privacy experts are sounding the alarm, and for good reason. They emphasize that our digital privacy is at stake. They argue that opting out of data sharing should be simple, straightforward, and accessible to everyone. Imagine a world where a single click could secure your privacy. But guess what? It's often the exact opposite. Instead of simplicity, we face a labyrinth of confusion. Companies bury opt-out options in convoluted menus, hoping you'll give up and just accept the default settings. They rely on your frustration to keep you compliant. They use confusing language and require you to jump through hoops just to exercise your basic right to privacy. Legal jargon and endless forms are their tools. It's a deliberate attempt to make it as difficult as possible for you to control your own data. The more obstacles they place, the less likely you are to persist, and even if you do manage to opt out, there's no guarantee that your data won't be shared anyway. Loopholes and vague policies often undermine your efforts. It's a system designed to keep you in the dark and keep your data flowing. Companies profit from your information and they want to keep it that way. But awareness is the first step. By understanding these tactics, we can push for clearer regulations and demand transparency. Your data, your choice. Section 7, America's data laws playing catch-up. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, US data privacy laws. Frankly, they're about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. Compared to other developed nations, the US lags woefully behind in protecting its citizens' data. The European Union, for example, has the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR, which gives individuals significantly more control over their personal information. They can access, correct, and even delete their data held by companies. In the US, good luck with that. It's high time for the US to step up its game and enact comprehensive federal legislation that puts individuals back in control of their data. We need clear, enforceable laws that hold companies accountable for how they collect, use, and share our personal information. Section 8, take back your data, tips for the privacy-minded. So what can you do to protect yourself in this wild west of data? First and foremost, be informed. Read privacy policies, yes, all of those words, and understand what you're agreeing to. Don't be afraid to ask questions and demand clarity. Second, explore your options. Many companies offer opt-out mechanisms, even if they try to hide them. Look for settings that allow you to limit data sharing or request that your data be deleted. Finally, consider using privacy-focused tools and services. There are browsers, search engines, and even payment processors designed to protect your privacy. It might take a little extra effort, but your privacy is worth it. Section 9, wake-up call, your data, your responsibility. This isn't just a tech issue, folks, it's a societal issue. We've become so accustomed to handing over our personal information that we've forgotten its value. Your data is your digital footprint, and it deserves to be protected. We need to start demanding better from companies. We need to hold them accountable for their data practices and push for stronger privacy regulations. And most importantly, we need to be more mindful of our own digital habits. The future of our privacy depends on it. Section 10. So how does that targeted ad feel now? The next time you see a targeted ad that feels a little too personal, remember PayPal's new policy. Remember that your data is being collected, analyzed, and shared in ways you may not even realize. Ask yourself, am I comfortable with companies knowing this much about me? Am I okay with my personal information being treated as a commodity? Because if the answer is no, then it's time to start taking control. It's time to demand better. It's time to reclaim our privacy. The clock is ticking, folks.